Hey guys, AstroBella here, and today I want to talk about the astrology for 2024. And if you like what I have to say and you want to stay connected, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can get more astrological forecasts from me in the future. So let's dive right in. 2024 will bring a lot of changes, a lot of breakthroughs, and a lot of endings. Now, the first major astrological transit that's happening in 2024 is on January 20th when Pluto re-enters Aquarius. Now, this is a very big deal because Pluto enters a new sign only about every 20 years. And Pluto brings a lot of change and a lot of destruction. Pluto represents death and rebirth. Pluto represents transformation. Pluto represents what's hidden, what's secret, what's in the dark, what needs to be uncovered about a certain aspect of our lives so that we can grow, so that we can evolve, so that we can change. But Pluto does make us face certain crises in order to evolve, in order to come face to face with our greatest power. The only way that we can do that really is by facing our greatest darkness. And on a collective level, with Pluto entering Aquarius and Aquarius being a very human sign, an air sign, a very social sign, a sign that represents humanity, the masses, the regular people. And with Pluto being such a powerful planet, this could be a huge shift of the powers going from Capricorn, where Pluto was since 2008, towards the people. We could be becoming more powerful. Our voices could be becoming more powerful over the next 20 years because this is a very slow transit. Pluto was in Aquarius for a very short amount of time last year during March to June for about 6 weeks, and it gave us a little preview of what this energy is going to be like. Now in 2024, Pluto is going to stay in Aquarius until September 1st, and then it's going to dip back into Capricorn for a little bit during a retrograde, and then it's going to go back into Aquarius on November 19th, and it's going to stay there until 2043. So yeah, 20 years. So this is going to be a slow process, but this is the beginning of it. And I don't think we fully understand or know exactly how this energy is going to play out. We did get a little taste, but this is a long transit, so it's going to take time, and there could be crisis in our lives and in the world in order to help us access this power. But in order to access this power within ourselves and for the power to be given to the people are going to have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations and challenges because Pluto does make us come face to face with our shadow, with the darkest parts of ourselves. It reveals darkness within ourselves, within the collective. And Aquarius not only represents the masses of people, the regular people, it also represents the future and technology and innovation and change and our mind and our brilliance and thinking. So there's going to be a lot of darkness revealed also in the areas of technology and how we're moving forward. So technology is advancing rapidly at this time, as we can see. And even when Pluto took a little dip into Aquarius last year, that was around the time when ChatGPT became available, when we saw the potential for great change in the future based on this one little thing. It was also around the time when people felt very fearful about AI taking over. And this is a very real thing. And I think that we're going to see the rise of technology in the next 20 years. It's inevitable, but we're also going to see the darkness behind it. We're going to see how technology can be dark because it can be a really great thing. Innovation, change, growth, evolution as a culture, as a society growing, and we can really use technology as a tool. But I think that what Pluto wants to do in Aquarius is expose the not so great intentions behind technologies, because it really depends on who's in charge of these technologies, right? Like, and what are their intentions? Are their intentions to control us, to make money off of us? If technology, the people who produce the technology, if their intention was to make humanity better, I'm sure that it would unfold in a way that really did help our lives. But a lot of the times, the people who are in charge of these technological advancements and releasing them to the world, their intentions are more self-serving. And the technology can actually end up being detrimental for human beings. And I think that with Pluto and Aquarius, that is going to become very evident. That is going to become more clear than it ever has been. And I think that with the rise of technology, even though it's like AI hasn't fully taken over yet, I mean, cell phones, our computers, iPads, things like this have fully taken over, I mean, in the past 20 years. And I think that when Pluto is in Aquarius, now that's going to be the time when we really start to see the effects of that. Like, how are these children that grew up with their iPads, I think they call them iPad kids now, like, what are they going to be like in 20 years? Are they going to be even able to function within society? I think the dark side of technology is really going to be exposed during this time. And it's going to be a rude awakening for everyone. And it's going to push us to pivot and to change and to really take a good look at ourselves. And hopefully Pluto and Aquarius will help us come together for the right reasons. And I think that this is a time when humanity and all of us, we can really find our tribe. So being authentic, staying true to who we are is really important during this period, because the more authentic we are, the easier it will be for us to connect with like-minded individuals, because the power is going to be given to the group consciousness, okay? It's not just going to be about me over the next 20 years. I think that people are going to find their power within the group, within connecting with others, with other like-minded people. So it's just important to know who you are, where you stand, what your beliefs are, what your feelings and opinions are about this world, so that you can align with other people that see the world like you do, because there's going to be a lot of change. But you can become very powerful at this time as well. You just need to be willing to face things that you probably were not facing in the past. Like, you're going to have to come face to face with the darker parts of yourself in regards to how you're using technology, how you're connecting with others, how you're using your mind. Should be more conscious about the information that you're taking in, what you're doing with that information, what you're doing with your time, how you're using social media. Are you using it for your advantage, or is it destroying your life? So there's going to be a lot of darkness exposed in those areas, just like there was when Pluto was in Capricorn. Capricorn represents the powerful corporations, the successful, rich, wealthy people that control the world. Capricorn is all about ambition, about growth, about big boss CEO energy. And like, all these CEOs were exposed during the time that Pluto was in Capricorn. I think that we've come to a point where there's almost nobody that really trusts the government anymore. I don't think anyone fully believes that the government truly has our best interests at heart at this time, because Pluto in Capricorn, ever since 2008, has been just exposing all the darkness. And we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we really cannot trust exactly what is being told to us at this point. So yeah, Pluto's going to make you question everything about everything. And in Aquarius, I think the energy is going to be geared towards helping us become more powerful, but exposing our darkness as a collective, exposing our darkness through technology, helping us find the right people. But it and it could also result in a lot of crazy thinking, because Aquarius, it's an air sign. It's a very mental sign. It rules the nervous system and our thought processes. So like, we have to be careful with our mental health during this time. We have to take really good care of our mental health and make sure we're thinking the right way, and be conscious of our thoughts and what we're putting in our mind and who we're connecting with, because there's going to be a lot more darkness exposed through ourselves, through what's in our mind, through who we're associated with, through what kind of groups we're associated with at this time. So we just got to be very conscious of that. We're going to be the ones. The darkness within us is going to be exposed, as opposed to the darkness within the powers that be. Like, that work has already been done, but it's not even completely done. I would say that we would probably even see some bigger developments in January before Pluto goes back into Aquarius, because planets tend to be the most powerful when they're entering a sign and when they're leaving a sign. So when they're at that 29-degree mark or that 0-degree mark, that's very potent degrees for a planet to be in, and that's when the most results, tangible results, are seen. So I wouldn't be surprised that even in the first 3 weeks of January, some bigger, darker secrets come out. More stuff is exposed in the world. I think there is some stuff that's coming out. Secrets that are coming out. I heard that the Epstein list is supposed to be revealed during that time, which goes hand in hand with Pluto being at that last degree of Capricorn. So who knows what that's going to lead to? Who knows if this is a real thing or what that truth or those files consist of? I guess we'll see. But whether it be that or something else, I feel like there could be a lot of darkness that's revealed in regards to the rich and the powerful of our world before this ingress into Aquarius. And yeah, and then when it goes back into Capricorn, I feel like that's another trigger point. Something could happen there, which will be September 1st, because Pluto's going to retrograde back into Capricorn. And there could be another moment of just darkness being exposed or something being destroyed that's not working anymore, like the death and the rebirth energy of something collapsing in order for something better to be rebuilt. So there could be a lot of destruction. Pluto does bring destruction, but with the intention to replace what was destroyed with something better. So I guess we'll see how that's going to unfold. Just pay attention. It could be very interesting. Obviously it's going to affect us all differently based on where we have Aquarius in our own chart. So you might want to check that. And it's going to only make it to the first degree or two this year. It's not even going to go very far. So it's like if you have planets or placements within the first 0 to 3 degrees of Aquarius or any of the fixed signs, really, then you'll probably feel it the most on a personal level. But on a collective level, we're going to see a lot of changes in the world. We're going to see some crazy technological advancements that could be scary, that could somehow expose darkness within us and darkness in the world. And it's going to be a whole new terrain to explore and to navigate. But these changes are inevitable. So we can't resist these changes. We have to be open to them. We have to embrace the changes. We have to see how we could use the changes to improve our lives. So we have to take control of this and not let it take control of us. Because it could be good. We got to embrace these new technologies and make sure they're working for us and not destroying us, because we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of evidence of how technology is actually destroying us in the next 20 years, and it might actually destroy us. And Pluto is death, and I hate to say this, but there could be a lot of people that don't make it. Sounds awful. Or it could be a metaphorical death, but there could be just not people just going in large groups in the next 20 years, however that is going to unfold. We'll find out. But it's really important to just be aware of this energy. It's a shift. It's a change. This is a new beginning. Things are going to feel very different with this transit in 2024 than they felt in 2023. And we're going to see how that unfolds. We're not going to be afraid of the dark. We're going to embrace the dark. We're going to allow our darkness to show us our power, our strength, and because it's part of life. It's part of life, and we got this, we are aware. We know what's going on. We know the vibes, and we're ready for it. So that is probably one of the biggest transits of the year. It's exciting. It's different. It's if you like change, like I like change, then I'm sure you're ready to embrace it. The second biggest transit, well, this isn't a transit. It's just the ongoing energy of Saturn being in Pisces. Now, Saturn entered Pisces last year in March, and it's been there since March. And so Saturn stays in every sign for about 2.5 years. So Saturn always has some work to do, some hard work. Wherever it is, Saturn's putting in work, okay? So with Saturn being in Pisces, it's going to be there the entire year. So that's going to be the underlying energy of the year. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn is trying to restructure, to reorganize, to rebuild, to re-strategize all the Piscean energy in the world. Okay, so it's a lot of work. Okay, Saturn isn't going to be resting while it's in Pisces, because if you think about it, Pisces is a water sign, okay? Pisces is a mutable sign. Pisces is all over the place. Pisces is a boundless energy. Pisces is the sign that doesn't want to be restricted. Pisces wants to be free, to go this way, to go that way, to not be defined, to not be limited in any way. Okay, Pisces is very connected to the 12th house, to what's beyond the physical, to the imagination, to the afterlife, to other realms, to feelings. All this stuff is not tangible. It's nothing we can see. So Saturn is in Pisces, in this territory, like, okay, how do I navigate this energy? Because I am all about structure. I am all about rules and discipline and hard work and karma and results. And here I am in this watery land trying to make sense of it all. So Saturn is working. Okay, Saturn is working very hard. And in a sense, this could be positive for us, because this can help us become more grounded. I think spirituality is so big right now, especially on social media, and people are meditating more. They're more in touch with energy and manifestation and vibrations and frequency and all these energy. People are really connected to energy more than they ever have been before, which is great. It's fantastic. You know, this world is so much more than we perceive it physically, but sometimes it could be taken a little too far. I think people have taken it too far. People have taken it to the next level, to the point where they're not even here on this planet. They've become very ungrounded with certain spiritual practices. And I think that Saturn's stay in Pisces is crucial for all of us, this type of energy, because it's helping us come back down to earth. A lot of us have been doing spiritual work over the past few years, and we've learned a lot. We've gained a lot of lessons. We've grown, but it's like we need to be able to apply these lessons practically to our physical world. Otherwise, they don't mean anything. They're just in the cosmos. Like, okay, we understand all this stuff about the universe, and we feel this deep sense of peace and gratitude, and we're just on this higher vibration. But how is that going to benefit our lives? How are we going to take that energy and use it to live a meaningful, fulfilling, beautiful, happy life, you know, or just a life that has some substance to it? So Saturn wants to come in and be like, okay, well, you know how to live on this higher vibration. You know how to be spiritual. You know how to relax into your body. You know, you're connected to your imagination, all this stuff. But what are you going to do with that, huh? What are you going to do with it now? Saturn's like, okay, you got the spiritual lessons. It's time to take some action. It's time to implement these spiritual lessons on this physical plane. It's time to take your wonderful ideas and write them down and turn them into something. Turn them into a podcast. Turn them into a book, a work of art, something you can share. How do you do that? How do you get your spiritual insights and inspirations and artistic inspirations into the world? How do you do that? Well, you have to take action. You have to be structured. You have to be disciplined. You have to do all these things. You have to make a schedule. Saturn's coming in and saying, okay, what is this going to look like on the calendar? Okay, you know, it's that Capricornian energy. Where is it going to fit on the calendar? Where are you going to take your creative inspiration and turn it into something? What day of the week? At what time? You know? And then when you start to implement that structure, that discipline in your life, you can really take all this creative inspiration, all these ideas, all your imaginative insights and wonderful things that you came up with in your mind, and really do something with it. Perhaps even change the world with it. You could, you know, make videos about it. You could write about it. And it can actually inspire other people, which can make you money, you know, which could help you survive in this world, which can buy you freedom, financial freedom, which can help you travel. It can help you do things, but it's like you need to practically apply all these spiritual and artistic gifts that you have. And I truly feel that Saturn in Pisces wants to do that. It couldn't have come at a better time. I think that there's going to be a lot of great works of art that come out this year, a lot of great music, television, film, so many great things that we're going to see with Saturn in Pisces, because Saturn creates boundaries and it creates limits to something that's boundless. If something remains boundless, it can never be experienced in the physical world. So when you take artistic expression and you mold it into something in the physical world, then other people can experience it, and then other people can be inspired by it. So I think that that's not a bad thing. It's just there's a lot of work to be done, and this is a great time to become more grounded, to become more practical, especially if you're a Pisces. It's a great time to become grounded, practical, organized, structured, so many things, and not let your spirituality take you somewhere far, far away from Earth, because the most spiritual thing you can do is to honor your human existence, because our souls chose to be humans on this plane at this time. So the most spiritual thing we can do is honor our spirit's wishes to be a human being and take care of our physical vessel and take care of our physical environment, of our earthly environment, and to just be here on Earth, present, grounded, disciplined, to do something with these gifts, to do something with our inspiration, with our expression, with our imagination, to take these imaginative insights and put them in the and mold them into something physical, so that they can be shared, so they can inspire others, so that they can help us live. So that, we could create something and we can make money off that creation, so that we can live, because everything is so expensive, so it's time to get creative. It's time to limit that imagination in a way that can help us. So I like Saturn in Pisces. I think it's great. And depending on where you have Pisces in your chart, depending on what house, that's where you're going to be working. That's where you're going to be working hard. So just check to see where Pisces is in your chart. All right, so moving on, we've got Jupiter is in Taurus at the start of the year. Jupiter has been in Taurus since the middle of last year. So we're coming in to 2024 with a very similar energy, which is an energy that we're already familiar with. And, it's interesting because Taurus is also a very earthly sign. It's a very grounded sign. It's a very material sign. It's a very stable sign. It's a very patient sign. Okay, so in the collective, Jupiter is expanding all those things. It's also making us think in the long term, how to create stability, how to create security, what to do in order to create those things. It's expanding our ways of thinking in order to create more stability and security in our own lives. And that's like Saturn and Pisces, it's structuring our imagination, and Jupiter is expanding our need for security and finding creative ways to do so, which is really great. Jupiter in Taurus is a very grounded feeling. This is a lot of grounding energy. If you're a Taurus, you're starting off the year strong. It's a great place to have Jupiter in that earth sign. It's also making us more connected to the earth and turning to the earth for healing, turning to natural remedies for healing. The earth is it's being in nature is just super healing at this time. Thinking about our future, really enjoying ourselves, really enjoying the earthly pleasures, and whether it be through nature or even just the finer things in life. There's nothing wrong with indulging a little bit, but it's we realize okay, we want to have this fantastic earthly experience. We want to experience all of the earthly pleasures, but in order to do that, we need to have a little bit of structure, stability, patience. We need to work. Jupiter in Taurus is motivating us all to work hard for the long term. Saturn Pisces is doing the same thing. We're going into this year really wanting to thinking about our futures, wanting to create something stable for ourselves. That's the vibe. And now's the time when we put in the work. We lay down the foundation for what we want to create. So that's how we're going into this year. And January 1st, Mercury's going direct. And we're going to be in Capricorn season. So right off the bat, it's work, work, work. This is a time to make our dreams come true by actually taking action. We're thinking about our future stability. We're doing what it takes. We're putting in the work. We're becoming more disciplined. That's the vibe I think that this year is starting out with. So it's strong, it's great. And then on April 20th, we actually have a very rare conjunction happening in Taurus with Jupiter and Uranus. So this is going to be a very interesting conjunction because it only happens once every 12 years. And it hasn't happened in the sign of Taurus in, I don't know, like 80 years or something like that. So this is a very rare conjunction to happen. Literally just stopped the video to check. It was 83 years ago, so close enough. So yeah, this is a very rare transit. Now, Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. And Jupiter has been in Taurus for about 6 months. It's going to be almost a year at this point that Jupiter was in Taurus. They're meeting at 21 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus has brought a lot of shakeups being in Taurus. It's been there since 2018. Taurus represents the financial systems, money. Money has been looked at very differently since Uranus has been there. Uranus is the planet of rebellion. It's the planet of unconventionality, of change, of doing things differently, okay? Of unexpected shakeups, a little bit of chaos, surprises. And yeah, I mean, things have definitely changed about the monetary system. The way that people make money is very, very different from how they once made it. Even just cryptocurrency. If you would have said anything about cryptocurrency to somebody before 2018, they would have looked at you like you were a psycho. But now it's like, oh yeah, cryptocurrency, we're all doing it. You know, we're all making money. So Uranus has brought a lot of change into the financial sector of the world since it's been in Taurus. It's 2018. And now Jupiter is catching up. Jupiter and Uranus are about to be perfectly aligned in Taurus. Okay, so conjunctions in astrology are very, very powerful because it's when two planets are aligned, it's like the energy of each planet is enmeshed with the energy of the other planet. It's as if they're becoming one planet. They're acting as one force, Jupiter and Uranus. So what's gonna happen? I mean, it's gonna be something, what, crazy? I think so. I think it's gonna be a little crazy. Only because Uranus tends to shake things up in our lives. It tends to bring things that are totally out of the blue, unexpected, crazy change. Or Uranus brings change through rebellion because Uranus seeks freedom. Uranus wants to be free. You know, Uranus in Taurus, it wants to help us all have this financial freedom, and it wants to help us find this financial freedom through unconventional ways. And I really think that if we pay attention, we can make a lot of money in 2024 because Jupiter is the planet of abundance. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Jupiter is the planet of growth. Okay, and when it's coming together with Uranus, it wants us to expand in a very unconventional way in regards to how we make money. So we got to pay attention to what pops up because, you know, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius. Technology is going to be taken off. We need to pay attention to what opportunities are presented to us during 2024 because we can have the opportunity to make a lot of money, to get really rich, to do something unexpected, and then to make money in an unexpected way. So this is going to be probably one of the biggest transits of the year is Jupiter and Uranus meeting in Taurus at 21 degrees. So see if you have any planets at 21 degrees Taurus. That's going to reveal to you how that energy can play out in your life. It might be out of this world. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be out of control. It's going to be wild. I'm excited for it because I love that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm a Gemini, so I love curveballs. I love change. I love unexpected things. So that will be a huge transit to look out for of some sort of expansion, unexpected expansion in the money sector of the world. Some people could get very rich, I would say, during that time. Some people could get very, very rich, which might piss some other people off because of how those people got rich, because of how they figured out how to get rich in a very unexpected and surprising way. So that's how I think that's going to manifest. Shortly after Jupiter and Uranus meet in Taurus to bring some shakeups into the financial sector of our lives, into wherever Taurus is into your chart, Jupiter will go into Gemini. Okay, Jupiter hasn't been in Gemini in like 12 years, 12 or more years. Jupiter is, okay, you know, Jupiter is not the most powerful in Gemini. I'm not even gonna lie. Jupiter loves to be in Sagittarius, which is the opposite of Gemini, in Pisces, because it's all about faith. It's about believing. It's about trusting. It's about being aligned with higher truth. The Gemini wants to explain the shit out of everything. Excuse me for cursing, but I would know. Gemini wants an explanation. They want a logical way to perceive things, to understand things, to have like an explanation through words, through reading, writing, talking, speaking, conversing. Jupiter's just like, oh, I want to trust. I want to just trust the universe. But now it's in Gemini, and it's all of a sudden our mind's going to be like, okay, that's a lot of air. Okay. I'm excited for it, being an air sign. But yeah, so Jupiter is going to be in Gemini. We got Pluto in Aquarius, all this air energy. Our minds are going to be like super active. So we got to be careful on the kind of information we're taking in at the time. And it's great. You know, it's great. I think it's great because Jupiter will be in Gemini. Pluto will be in Aquarius. They'll be making a perfect trine to one another, right? When Jupiter enters Gemini at the beginning of Gemini season, May 25th. If you've got Gemini placements, this is a really great time for you, for expansion, for growth, for optimism, for self-confidence, for opportunities, for just good stuff, because Jupiter brings good stuff wherever it goes. Okay, so it's very exciting. And Jupiter will be in Gemini. It's going to be making some tense aspects at some point. There'll be a square to Saturn, because I mean Saturn is in Pisces, so it's like going to be squaring off with Jupiter for a lot of the time. It's going to be meeting up with Mars in mid-August and squaring Saturn. So it's going to be like, it's like Jupiter wants to expand the mind. It wants to think. It wants to do all these things. And then when Mars meets up with it, it's going to be feeling a little aggressive in August. But I think that the square to Saturn is actually a good thing, because Jupiter in Gemini is already a mess because it's just too many thoughts. And Saturn is going to contain that a little bit. It's going to help us structure our thoughts. It's going to say, okay, we got this information, but let's figure out how it's going to help us. Or is it even helping us? Do we need to limit this information in some way or another? It's going to be a free-for-all as far as media is concerned. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're being fed by wherever we get our news from. So make sure you check your sources. Make sure that you have reliable sources for everything that you are taking in, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, CNN, Fox, I don't know. But it's all going to be a smorgasbord of information and blah, 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 blah. So this is a great time to use discernment, okay? Because there's going to be a lot coming out. There's going to be a lot of chit-chatting, okay? There's going to be a lot of thinking, a lot of speaking, it's great. I think next year is going to be a super social year and we need it. I mean, you know, we've been kind of isolated from one another. We need to come together. We need to have some conversations, even if they're crazy, even if the conversations don't make any sense. We just need to find common ground. And I think things will be very heated next year because there's so many things going on in the world that are so polarizing. We have an election in the United States, and that's going to be a whole nother thing. Like I'm not looking forward to that vibe, because I hate the vibe of separation of people just disregarding other people completely because of what they think. I think that people should be able to have a conversation regardless of what it is that their beliefs are. They should be able to sit down and talk about them in a mature and adult manner. And I think all this air energy is definitely going to bring some conversing. I just hope that it's not in a very aggressive way. I hope that we can understand one another. And even if we see the world differently, I hope we can just have a conversation about it, because there's going to be a lot to say. Okay, if you want to start a podcast, start it in 2024, because there's going to be so much that needs to come out. There's going to be so many thoughts and so many realizations. Like with the Pluto trine, they're going to be deep. Okay, Gemini is known to be like a sign that knows a little bit about everything, scratches the surface of every topic, but not this time around. The conversation is going to be deep, okay? Because that trine to Pluto, it's going to make you look a little bit deeper than just the surface. And we're going to be having some like transformative type conversations, okay? So get out of your cocoon, get out of your hole, go connect with people. Pluto's going to be in Aquarius, Jupiter's going to be in Gemini. Like, Saturn's in Pisces, like, there's going to be some vibes. People are going to want to talk about things. People are going to want to connect with other people. People are going to want to connect for a bigger purpose, okay? Their thoughts are going to be bigger. Their ideas are going to be bigger, okay? And this year is kind of like it's an ending. It's really going to set in stone what the next 20 years are going to be like, because there's a lot of changes, massive changes happening the following year in 2025. But this is kind of like the grand finale of a lot of types of energy, but it's also foreshadowing what's to come at the same time. So it's really about building a foundation for what we want to see like over the next 20 years. Because I mean, we've got with Saturn and Pisces, we also have Neptune in Pisces. It's in its final degree. Neptune's going to be in the final degree of Pisces, and then in 2025 it's going to go into Aries. We've got Uranus that's like nearing the end of Taurus, and then next year it's going to go into Gemini. We're going to be like in a whole new territory in 2025. Okay, it's going to look completely different. So 2024 is the year that we really need to establish like who we are, what we want, where we're going, who we want to associate with, what they're about, what I'm about. Are we going to connect? What am I going to do with all this shit in my head? Am I going to just hide? Am I going to avoid? Am I going to avoid my truth? Or am I going to do something with my truth? That's kind of the question of the year. Am I going to do something with my ideas, with my imagination, with my feelings, with my beliefs? Am I going to put them out there? Or am I just going to let them sit there and just like do what I'm told? You know? Or am I going to just like not feel my feelings? Am I going to run away from my feelings? Or am I going to feel my feelings and figure out what my feelings are trying to tell me and like do something with them? Am I going to level up? Or am I just going to live in fear? Like, there's a lot of hard questions that are going to be asked in 2024 that are going to make you have to level up. You either are going to choose like facing your fears and like doing the hard thing, like having the hard conversation with others, with yourself, figuring out where you stand, figuring out who you are, figuring out what your gift is, figuring out how you're going to share that gift, or you're just going to hide from yourself, hide from the world, hide your gifts, and just keep working your, boring ass job. I mean, it's out of fear. You either going to choose love or you're going to choose fear in 2024. And if you choose love, your 2025 could be really exciting, really different, really just out of this world, unexpected, cool, little chaotic, but I mean, yeah. There's a lot of chaos to come, but if you know who you are and you're aligned with the right people, then you're going to make it through the tough times, okay? But if you're hiding from the world, if you're escaping your problems, if you're not working towards your purpose, towards this bigger vision, then it's like it's going to be hard. This is a time when you can really solidify who you are and what you want out of your life, because there's a lot of endings happening in 2024 where a lot of planets are making their last little stint in these signs. Okay, so yeah, and Jupiter and Gemini, it's gonna be fun, especially if you're an air sign. It's gonna be fun for us because we're gonna be stimulated, and that's what we want. We want to be stimulated. Information's gonna be, I mean, we're not even gonna know what to believe, but thank God we got Saturn and Pisces there, squaring it off, limiting how much information we really take in. Yeah, and when Mars meets up with Jupiter in August, it's going to be tension. Mars is doing a lot. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even mention Mars in this video, but Mars is doing a lot in 2024. There's going to be a lot of tension and a lot of aggression. And that's being seen on a global level with, countries fighting. There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of tension. There's going to be a lot of aggression, and it's going to reveal a lot of darkness within ourselves. It's going to create conflict with others, but that's why we just really need to face that darkness as it comes. What's going on in the world, what's going on within us. We need to face it head on. We cannot avoid what's going on, because darkness is inevitable within ourselves and within the world. And sometimes when hard things happen in the world, it really reveals a lot about who we are and what we need to work on. So we can't avoid. This is not the time to avoid. Saturn and Pisces, like a lot of people are going to want to, have to face their addictions, things that they have been addicted to. They're going to come and face the harsh reality of like, okay, what is this addiction doing to me? How have I been running away from reality? Like, we cannot run away from reality any longer in 2024, because we're going to suffer so much. And there is going to be a lot of tension and challenges and like heated discussions and tension between countries and about borders. And there's going to be a lot of pain. I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect year. No, it's going to be a hectic year. But this is our chance to really figure out who we are and what we want and who we want to be connected to and what we stand for. This is the time to figure out what you stand for in the world, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to try to make us turn against one another. There's going to be a lot of things happening that are going to make us hate one another, or other people hate one another. I'm not going to fall for the trap. I'm not going to hate you guys. I'm not going to hate anyone. I'm going to practice discernment and compassion and understanding. I'll do my very best and I'll do my very best to speak my truth whenever I can, because I think it's so important. So I hope you guys do the same. And it's not going to be a crazy year. This is not going to be another 2020. There's nothing to worry about on that level, but there is going to be a lot of tension building. And there's going to be a lot of foreshadowing of what the future will be like. But this is our time to get our shit together, okay? So we still have time before the shit really hits the fan. Like, the shit's not going to really hit the fan in 2024. We're going to be okay. So, yeah, we have the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra all year. We have eclipses in Aries. We have eclipses in Libra. So there will be a huge focus on the self, on independence, on not relying on others. Aries is the most independent sign. So it's all about being self-reliant, about learning how to be happy without anyone else. Like, not saying that you don't have to be in a relationship, but depending on yourself for happiness, not depending on other people for happiness, not needing outside validation, not second guessing yourself anymore, believing in yourself, believing in your leadership skills, wanting to win, wanting to be successful, trusting your instincts, trusting your impulses. That's all going to be an ongoing theme throughout 2024 with this North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. So it's like the need for someone else to validate you or to make you happy, that's going to be going away. We're going to be becoming more self-reliant and finding everything we need within ourselves and learning how to take care of ourselves in that way. So that's really great energy. We've got some eclipses in Aries, in Libra. The first one, we have a Libra eclipse on March 25th. It's going to be a lunar eclipse in Libra. So there's going to be a lot of endings. A lot of relationships could end at that time. Codependent behaviors could end at that time. Just needing anything from the outside, letting go of people that are toxic. It's going to be like a shedding, almost a shedding of old energy, like stepping into our new selves. Aries and Libra, it's a big year for you guys. It's a totally transformative year. We've got an Aries solar eclipse on April 8th. This is like a new beginning, stepping into the greatest version of ourselves, stepping into our independence, our strength, not needing anyone else. And then we have something very interesting on September 17th. We have a Pisces eclipse, which will be the first in a new series of eclipses, and a new eclipse cycle that's actually going to take place next year or in 2025. So we'll have a little preview of what that's going to feel like, this lunar eclipse in Pisces. And what's interesting about that is Saturn and Neptune is going to be conjoining this eclipse. So it's going to be change, ending, structure, hard lessons, and a lot of confusion. A lot of spiritual insights, like a very spiritual time. Like, we're going to have spiritual downloads. The lines between reality and what's beyond are going to be totally blurred. We're going to have like downloads, but Saturn's going to be like, be careful, don't get lost in the sauce. Like, you use these spiritual insights and do something with them to make your life better, and leave behind the bullshit. Okay, leave behind the toxic positivity, the toxic spirituality, the things that stand in your way. Face reality as it comes, whether it's light, whether it's dark, face it all. Love the dark parts of yourself. Allow yourself to evolve by facing the darkness. Don't be afraid of it. Use your spirituality in a way that benefits you, and benefits others. there's going to be a lot of deep stuff coming with that eclipse. And it might be really challenging and difficult, especially if you're a Pisces with Saturn. Saturn always teaches lessons. Saturn always, it gives you what you put in. You reap what you sow with Saturn. It's the planet of karma. So we'll see how that unfolds. So pay attention to that date if you're a Pisces. Big changes coming for you. Pisces, you can be like the main character for a while. Like, it's all you. And then we got another solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd. So that'll be the last eclipse. Could be a new beginning for Libras. Just finding your independence in a new way. Letting go of what doesn't serve you, stepping into your power, becoming a totally different person. And yeah, I mean, always look to see where you have Aries and Libra in your chart, and Pisces, because that's where this eclipses are going to affect you. And then we end the year off with a Mars retrograde. And that Mars retrograde is going to happen in December, and it's going to slow things down. So we'll be learning a lot in 2024. We'll be connecting with people that we need to connect with. We'll be connecting with ourselves in a different way. We'll be restructuring our lives. We'll be coming back down to earth. We'll become more intelligent. We'll become deeper thinkers. We'll be questioning everything, okay? You know, we're going to be faced with some hard choices. And then by the end of the year, we're going to kind of just want to slow down. Our energy is going to be very low, and we're going to want to rest. That's how we're going to end 2024, with wanting to rest. With this Mars retrograde in Leo. It's also going to be opposing Pluto at the start of the Mars retrograde. So that'll be a little bit of kind of uncomfortable, rougher energy to end the year with, but it's like a time to reflect. It's a time to focus on how far we've come. So you might want to finish everything that you're working on by like November and not December, because next December is going to be, it's going to be intense. We're going to have some like deep realizations, some harder energy to deal with, because like there might be a lot revealed in the world during that time, because Pluto will go back into Aquarius on November 19th, and it's there to stay. That's going to be the time when Pluto enters Aquarius, and it's going to be there for like ever, for 20 years. So that's going to be big. It's like we're saying goodbye, farewell, hasta la vista to Capricorn forever for our lifetimes. So it's like whatever needed to be revealed in regards to the government, to the powers that be, and the powerful, the rich, whatever needed to be revealed is going to be revealed, okay, by November 19th. That's the last little stint that Pluto has in Aquarius. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting time. And then Mars will oppose Pluto and then go retrograde, and it's like, you know, it's like it's tense. It could result in like tensions in the world, very big tensions between countries about borders, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable, and we're all gonna be a little bit panicked over whatever goes down. But this is a time where we need to go so easy on ourselves at the end of the next year. Get everything you need to get done before that Mars retrograde, and allow yourself time to rest, to heal, to recover for whatever, you know. So if you could just plan ahead, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. What a way to end such a crazy year. I'm very excited for 2024. I feel there's nothing to be really afraid of. Like we're going to be seeing a lot of the same energy that we're seeing now. But things are going to become more solid, more solidified. Like things are going to become more clear. Our future is going to become more clear. Like at this point, we're very confused on what the future holds. And we can't really see clear, but by next year, we're going to know what it's about. We're going to know what this Pluto and Aquarius is all about. We're going to know what what with Jupiter being in Gemini, we're going to have kind of an idea of what Uranus and Gemini is going to be like, because after Jupiter and Uranus meet, we're going to get a little taste, because Uranus is going to follow shortly after and go into Gemini. There's going to be a lot. The wheels are going to be turning, okay? We're going to be thinking, we're going to be making realizations, making connections with people within our own brains. Like, there's going to be a lot of Geminian energy going on. And then, like, I mean, with Neptune is almost done with Pisces. Like, this is a spiritual time. This is a very spiritual time, but we're going to take all of our spiritual realizations and we're going to turn it into something. We're going to do something with it. We're going to turn it into our success. Okay, we're going to get structured. We're going to put our feet on the ground. We're going to get grounded. We're going to make things happen. We're going to have a way clearer vision of the future by the end of 2024. So this is the time to do the work. This is the time to get organized. This is the time to figure out who your real friends are, okay? To find your tribe, okay? To do the work, to face your darkness, to allow it to transmute you, to allow yourself to evolve, to grow, to become stronger, to love yourself for all the parts of yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. Just accept it all, love it all. You're a human being. You chose to be here on this earth for a very specific reason, okay? So embrace it. Embrace being on earth. Embrace being a human, okay? It's the most spiritual thing you can do in 2024. And I wish you guys all the best. Sending you guys so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this. And I'll see you in 2024. Love you guys.